Hello dear, it's Hannah. I am a brand new PhD beside being a proud mom of two beautiful children. The topic of this record here today is about how you can maximize the research experience during your studies in the graduate and postgraduate schools. I have some tips that helped so much during my bachelor's, master's, and PhD studies. There were some points I really appreciate the value of them every single day since I started my track as a researcher. The first step I definitely want to start is being very well organized person, starting from a clearly set plan for your daily efforts to achieve your target at the end of the year, the end of the program. But you need to make not only an overall plan, you need to make a plan of every single day, every hour what you are going to do. And you need to incorporate this daily planning habit in your life. I want to say that you need to be crystal clear about what you are going to do every day. This has to take a sufficient time to get it right. Don't rush when you are planning. Don't underestimate the time to plan. Drawing and writing down what are your daily tasks and which experiment you are going to do, which analysis you are going to make, the meetings you have to attend, the seminars, the talks you are going to give or you are going to listen. Just take sufficient time for planning. Take sufficient time to design properly your day and make it productive. Make yourself certain about the settings of your experiments, the data you want to collect, the analysis you want to perform. Be so sure about how long that will take, if all the materials are available to run an experiment or to run an analysis. Even a buffering time to make things will sit in your working bench or office or desk, and also give yourself sufficient time to obtain the data and to clean up after you are done. Be a brainer in terms of putting things correctly and the required time for each thing to be done and the energy needed to be spent. Is it just muscular, physical movements, or is it mental focusing? Do you need to sleep well before you start, or it's okay if you are tired a little bit to perform a certain task. The second tip coming is about thinking. Don't think too much, but also don't think too little. Make it adequate to the required things that you are thinking about to make decision. Is it the right decision? If there are other alternatives, what are the advantages or disadvantages of each thing? I want you to know that it is very important to think enough, and not thinking too much. It may waste your time, but also thinking inadequately, it will make you lose a lot of time. What comes to the required response about your research, you need to think about it. Giving the correct answer or action to a certain issue in your project. Give yourself time to read, to summarize, to connect between different points coming from different resources. Analyze how you can perform something. The effort given to read, to summarize, and to initiate discussions. It is very important to value thinking, which thoughts and discussions they have to take a place to support the development of your career, of your project, of your research, the understanding of the data you have collected, or something in the literature, even if it's not interpreted or explained very well in an article, you give yourself the time to think and understand it better than it's written in a certain article. Give your time to think properly about the obtained data and the appropriate approach to analyze them, to potentially redirect your project, to bring it to the next level. So thinking takes a lot of time and takes a lot of energy. Some people I have met, when it comes to thinking, they actually spend a lot of time working on pitch, but they don't spend a lot of time to think why we are doing this. They end up with a lot of data but not analyzed, or analyzed improperly, or the settings of the experiment were not right, and they have to do all the work again because they did not give the daily time of thinking. The third tip I want to talk about it today is prioritizing the work safety. This is very important issue. Like it is so important for a person work either in research or non-research field, the safety measurements of their work. That's not only making your research experience rich, it's an essential requirement for your work to know how you safely behave and act and analyze things, how to mix things together in a appropriate way, to make yourself safe and you save your life and other people's life as well. Please, whatever your profession is it like me, a cell biologist or a chemist or a computer scientist, whatever the research required for you, even if you are just sitting working on your desk, you need to know the nature of your work safety and pay a strong attention to the health and environment safety under your working conditions. Attend workshops, invest in your time for your safety. If you need to set how to sit properly to work, if your work requires sitting for long hours, that you avoid certain techniques in your back and your pelvic floor muscles and your legs and your neck. Like it's very important that you don't get sick after a certain number of years, that you are not able to manage your work or profession because you did not take the required safety measurements, including how to act in emergency situation, what is the right handling of certain elements, material, for example, a printer ink cartridge, how to properly change it without causing a contamination on yourself or on your working environment, how to run a whole experiment without making an accident or falsing a certain concept about your materials, how to discard from the waste and how to manage them in your working environment until they are disposed. Give yourself the chance to find the locations of fire extinguisher or fire hose or the first aid kit if they are expired, if they are good to go, the emergency exits in your building. Read the signs around you and understand the meaning of the colors of the signs in your research institute or in your lab or office. Go for a list of emergency contact. Review with yourself, sit with yourself and review how can I describe a certain condition? How can I make the 911 call, for example, from which phone? If I cannot reach to my cell phone, where are the emergency calls buttons, either in the elevators or on the certain floor or outside of the building? How can I give the right description for the person who pick up my 911 call and give the exact location of the emergency needed, of my work environment, of my lab? Like there are so many things you need to think about them. We cannot guarantee that there is no problem at work at all. Even if your work is low risk or low impact type of work nature, you need to think about everything regarding your safety measurements. Go for the emergency contacts of your colleagues if somebody needs help. When you are in need of help, you need to provide your emergency contact as well. Now I'm going to talk about the fourth tip here. It is all about your education, your learning process and career development when it comes to the time of socialization with other researchers, either in your lab, in your institute, either in person, face-to-face, or by phone call, video call, or written email. It's all about how to be able to act properly, to answer properly, and that an added point to your education and learning process. We are keep learning every single day. If you give yourself the message that you know everything, the brain will not take everything in a learning situation, will not enjoy everything, and you will lose a lot of important information that you need to refresh yourself every day and learn. If it's not even you, like you can relearn it or rethink about it in a certain way. When it's come to a daily discussion with your PI, if you want to call it a boss, with your mentor, with the lab manager, other colleagues, either former or current and new students, seniors or juniors, we always in the machine of learning and education. If you want to keep yourself up, keep nicely socializing with in and out of your project researchers. Be kind in socialization. Be present and helpful also. Learn how to listen. Listen very well. Understand what you are listening and act properly, respond properly. You are here not to prove to anyone except yourself that you are a good researcher. And if you are a good researcher, you need to learn things right, and you need to make yourself able to learn and accept new things. Even if the competition is so high in your lab or in your work environment, never give your back to any new perspectives because you think that you just know everything about a certain thing. I have trained several undergrad and graduate students during multiple programs I attended in grad school. The students or the personnel who make more mistakes and takes longer to adapt a new lab than other people who started joining any certain environment, they were the same students and the same people who pretended they know everything. They pretended that they know much, and they don't give a listening ear to what is the purpose of this training for them. Particularly when it comes to a certain method they already know, or a safety measurement has to be taken. Because they think they have done this and they used to do it and they know it very well and they don't need to be trained, and they are just like, don't listen carefully to what I'm telling them or what any person in the lab try to train them. The student who rush and try to finish things so fast to show that they are professional, actually they are the most people make major mistakes, and sometimes they are so costly mistakes, either in terms of money or in terms of time or energy, and they don't know that doing this is disrespecting their education process and the learning time required to adopt a new environment and to adjust to it. My last tip for today is about being diligent and hardworking. It's about being determined to develop your knowledge background as much as practical experience. Don't be too much shallow in research. Don't say, I did not take a course on this. No, do self-education, self-learning, self-reading, self-analysis. Yes, ask a lot of people around you to get resources, but if you want to be a good researcher, people want, eager to work with you, you need to avoid being shallow in research. It is okay not to know everything. And it's okay to say, I don't know, if you don't know. But don't either pretend that you know, or you don't seek to know the details of your research project, of your work, of your daily task, either theoretically or practically. You need to make the balance. Like I know some very brainer students who were in some labs I worked in, they know things very well and they are very smart about bringing things in an overall image and make connections, but when it comes to lab experience they don't know much, and when they talk you can understand they don't know much about practical training and how things realistically takes time and being analyzed. There are other people who are like machines, just working without understanding why they are doing what. It's just a programmed automatic machine running things, and there are a lot of faults in running because they don't understand why they are doing this. They don't read about why they are doing this. They don't know the details of what they are doing. It is very important to deepen your knowledge, either background knowledge and literature or practical knowledge and technical aspects. Be resilient and optimistic while you are patiently doing your homework of reading so much, writing so much and so well, and make the connections between points in the literature and your research project. Very important to make your research experience very rich. You gain a lot of knowledge within a short time when you give yourself the time to think, to read, to practice, and to discuss, to socialize. Here I would like to end this video by saying to all researchers who show resilience and resistance, you are the best. By the end of this video, I would like to ask to support me by giving a like, share this YouTube video and subscribe to my channel. Take care and enjoy your life.